So my name is Matt Patricione. I'm a senior mechanical engineering student here at Clarkson University, and I'm from LaGrangeville, New York. I chose my major. As a kid, I've always tinkered with things and always had a passion for building things. As I remember, in my basement, I had extra scraps of wood and nails, and even as an 8 to 10-year-old, I would go down there and just make random things that I kind of thought up randomly someday. I've always enjoyed just making things go from thought process into real-world fabrication. Why I chose mechanical engineering is it allows me to do that on a much more precise and fine scale. It allows me to use what I've learned to build really cool things. I really much enjoy the cool factor of things. I like building things that I look at and I say, wow, I did that. All my tours of the colleges I took before I chose where I wanted to go, one of the big things that stuck out to me was that cool factor. And I knew coming in from high school there were some teams that you could be involved in at school and when you're in an engineering program or any major for that sake. And one of the things I saw stand out to me at Clarkson is the speed teams. I'm currently the team captain of the Clarkson Formula Knights racing team on campus. We build a scale open wheel Formula style race car every single year from scratch. We design it, we fabricate it, we test it, we tune it, we compete it. And when I was doing my tours of a bunch of different colleges, I saw some teams or some schools had smaller programs, some teams had bigger programs, some teams had a massive number of people in the team, some had small. Clarkson fit in the niche of you had a small enough team where you could be involved in everything, but also not be in a small enough team where you didn't get to do any high level stuff. So that really stood out to me. So yeah, I accepted a job with Ensign Bickford Aerospace and Defense. I'll be starting with them in June. They actually, the way I found out about their company is they sponsored our racing team on campus, the Formula Knights racing team. And they do aerospace and defense, so they do projects working with NASA, working with other space exploration. They do products for defense, such as missile systems and a few other things, energetics mostly, so breach devices and terminate devices for vehicles. That came to be by, I found out the company when they sponsored our team, but I did some research into them, and I really like the company atmosphere. I did some interviews with them, they came to the career fair, and everything's worked out well. I like to apply mathematics and theory and outside knowledge to solve a problem. Engineering is very objective. It's not a place for emotion per se. You have to use the tools you have at your disposal to solve a problem. And with my major, you're learning ways of solving problems. You may not realize it at the time which you're in the class, but all the fine aspects you learn you can call upon when you're trying to solve something, some way. And it comes back to really help you make decisions in life, albeit engineering or life related. Every professor on campus has office hours. You can go to them, you can talk to them. They're still a person. You can talk to them, say, here's where I'm struggling, and they can help you work through things. There's been several times in my career here at Clarkson where you get lost, and it's okay to be lost at times when you're working through a problem. And you go to their office hours and you say, hey, here's where I am. And the staff at Clarkson are very friendly and happy, the professors especially, to kind of bring you through the thought process, because sometimes you might need some individual time with the professor to understand what they're trying to get across. And I've always found professors to be very helpful, and they're never going to close the door on you. And the office hours are a great window to get one-on-one FaceTime and kind of learn one-on-one with a professor and get some more hands-on with it. So speed teams on campus. I happen to be the team captain of Formula Knights Racing here on campus. You can see my shirt. We build a small-scale Formula-style open-wheel race car every single year. So students that join our teams, they don't have to take any tests to get on. They don't have to have anything besides a passion to learn, a passion to build, and a passion overall, in our situation, to race. So we start from scratch every year. We don't build the same platform car every single year. We completely design, fabricate, test, tune, and compete this race car from scratch every year. We compete at Michigan International Speedway, so every single year 120 teams from all over the world, teams from Germany, teams from Italy, teams from Austria, you name it, gather at MIS, which is the NASCAR track, the oval in Michigan. We use the infield of the track, and we race, not wheel to wheel, but we race against the clock for who has the fastest car, but it's more than just that. The entire event is an engineering and business competition, so beyond just how fast your car is, it also largely depends how much the students learned. So you go and talk to judges one-on-one in design review, where it's judges from you know, manufacturers such as Bosch, GM, Ford, Roush, Chip Ganassi Racing, so forth. And they kind of dive into everything you did. You tell them your decisions you made and how you can improve on those decisions. And it's one of the best learning one of the best learning experiences I've ever had in my life. In terms of Speed on campus, Speed has allowed me through this medium to use everything I've learned in the classroom and apply it to a real world scenario, working with real materials, with real machines to make real things. And that knowledge is sometimes lost on some engineering students who don't have that background. And it really allows you to, take your education to the next step.